Sure. Obviously, I can't say enough good things about GW and Coach Caputo and their staff and their players, and how hard they played. In this game, they play that hard every game, but they're having an excellent season, and they tested us, in a big way. Today they got off to a great start and kept the pressure on, and we were on our heels, and we just had to respond. I think we ended up with a timeout there, and the guys, were good in the timeout, and then came out of the timeout and were energetic. Passed the ball a little bit better. Certainly, it's hard to score when you're turning it over, and they were forcing turnovers left and right on us early in that game, and we had to just settle in and begin to chip away. And I thought overall it was just a really gritty effort by our guys, and we've had two straight, that way where you haven't played particularly clean, on offense, but found other ways, to begin to figure it out. Certainly we fouled way too much, in both halves, but the offensive rebounding was key. The shot making was key. Some timely defense at the rim, was certainly important to get the win.
Ryan, when you kind of look at the last 10, 15 minutes of that game, it felt like watching you guys was a really experienced team against a young team. Did you feel the same way, and how much has that kind of carried you guys a bit?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly carries us. I don't know that you're actually thinking about it, in the middle of the game, but yes, for sure, poise, experience, and I think one of the key things is not being, not just assuming that it's going to work out, right? If you're, when you have a veteran team, you have to make it work out. And I think these guys understand that. They're constantly talking in huddles, and they communicate, well with one another. And they understand, sometimes it's not my shot. Sometimes it's somebody else's, at this particular time. Defensive coverages, whatever. We talk through things. And, I think when you have a tight team and you have an experienced team, you can turn games. And I think our guys, have shown that they're very resilient, and they have a certain level of toughness, and they're not afraid, to make plays.
Coach, I just wonder if you could talk a little bit about your game plan shift at halftime. It seemed like in the second half you came out with the press, immediately started trapping. If you just talk about
I think part of it was just, we were taking care of the ball, in the second half, at least to start out. At the beginning of the game, we were giving it back, and they were taking it. I guess is a better way to put it. They knocked some balls loose and they were off to the races. And you're not going to get in a press when you're turning it over. And so we have to play cleaner offense. We have to get cleaner looks. We have to pass, more, and then continue to pass. I think we got into the paint. We were able to kick it out, and then you saw the ball kind of flow around. And then you have to make shots, or you have to get to the basket again, and get a layup. He had some in transition, that got us going, as well. But I think that was really the key, to the game. And they certainly were committed to going inside, to both guys, and rightfully so. They're both really good players, but they were willing passers. And they did a nice job of getting it out and getting some clean, looks on the exterior when we began to double. And so we tried to kind of mix it up as best we could, to keep them off balance as best we could. Certainly had some success with it, but also got burned sometimes. And, it's going to happen when you're playing a good basketball team.
This is for both of you guys, but VCU right now, you guys are sort of right. I know it's a bit early to think about, but you guys are sort of right on the bubble of the NCAA tournament for getting an at-large bid right now. Can you sort of talk about maybe the pressure or any added pressure that gives to these sort of late season A-10 games, and just sort of
I think I'll take that one, because it's I try to get them to not think about that. Right? We want to think about the next play, the next film session, the next game that we're going to have, the next prep for the next game that we're going to have. And if you get too far ahead, you get too many steps ahead, all of a sudden you'll get yourself out of sorts. And so we have to be completely focused on what's in front of us. And certainly GW is enough to worry about, right? And the next game is going to be enough to worry about. We can't control what's going to happen, down the line on selection Sunday. And so all these guys are focused on right now is the Atlantic 10 Conference and trying to win a championship and competing for a championship. We're behind a little bit right now. And so we're trying to keep up. And, every game is critical, as you know, down the stretch. But we're not going to let our guys get focused on the wrong things. That will take care of itself later on if we take care of business and we focus, on the present.
Question for Jack, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point range. What do you feel you were able to take advantage of tonight?
Honestly, it was just playing on what the defense was giving me. Coach Odom, everybody on the staff, teammates, always just had confidence in me with shooting the basketball. Whether I don't have a good game one day and I come back and have a great one shooting, they just always feed into me every day in practice. Keep shooting the ball, get to the basket, rebound. So in practice, just getting up shots before the game, just always having confidence from coaches and my teammates has really helped me.
And the 24-9 run, to follow up, Jack, how encouraging is it for you guys to know that when things are really working offensively, it's contagious where everybody's able to get some productivity?
It gives us a lot of confidence because it's not only one person on this team that can do it. Anybody who starts, come off the bench, contributes to us to winning. That's not only offensively but defensively as well. So just knowing that Coach Odom always tells us that we're a deep team. So if one person goes down, it's always next man up. And that's what we showed today with a couple people fouling out. And we were just ready. We didn't start out as good as we wanted to, but we finished the game well.
As you mentioned, Coach, on an off night for Max and Joe, by their standards, can you just talk about the contributions that you got from your other guys, such as Jack and such as Zeb from the other side, trying to make up for those mistakes?
Yeah, I think we have a well-balanced team, and so it takes a lot of pressure off of Max and Joe, and Zeb started every game last year, so this is not new for him, being out on the floor. And I think it's the luxury that we have. We have experience, like we talked about earlier, and guys are ready to step up. And I think the key for us is making sure that the guys understand they don't have to do it alone. In fact, they have to do it together. And I think that's what this team has bought into. Is like it doesn't have to be me making the play every single time. All right, it's we're making the play. All right, and if the ball's in my hands, well, I have a responsibility. All right, to if the defense comes, get rid of it and move it. All right, to the next side. And then I think what you see is our guys, they pass. You end up with 20 assists. That's the mark of a team that's willing to pass to one another. And the key for us is getting better starts, to our offense. And obviously start to the game, but starts to our offense. When we get clean starts, usually the possession ends with, a quality look. And then it gives us a chance to now the real game begins again. If we miss, now we're after it. And, these guys have been trained and accepted the training to go get it. And, I think it's a fun way to play.
Question for Ryan. You do not control your schedule, but how advantageous is it for you guys to have the bye week at this point in time, this late in the season?
Yeah, I mean, it comes at different times for everybody. Certainly we've had, some, road games recently. We're just coming off of 2 straight. Travel. We only have one more flight, left. I think we've got 2 road games and 4 home games. And so a lot of basketball to be played, and certainly this bye week comes at a good time for us, to be able to, get our guys recovered and relaxed. I mean, we were dragging a little bit at the beginning of the game, and I think certainly, it's timely that we have it right now. But we've got to use the time. That's the key. You have to use this time. You can't just relax. We've got to use the time to get better. This is our last opportunity before the conference tournament, and then we'll have a few days there as well to get ready for the tournament. But it's the last time for us to get better. A lot of times we get better through film when you're in the thick of it and, not killing them in practice. But we've got to be able to make sure that we're still in the proper shape and also adding, to our game. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Patrick.
Good to see you.